Hey everybody, it's Brian the Scrap Guy, and today I've got a quick video on how to make one of the three different cards that are in the Cheerio Workshop on the Go kit. The kit gives you enough supplies to make 6 cards, 2 of each style. It has all the embellishments, all the stamps, and all of the paper. And again, I had tons of paper left over, so I could make more cards or additional scrapbook layouts with what was left over. So let's get started. The first step is to attach the first piece. Um, Close to My Heart makes it super simple in terms of where to start and where to finish. The next step, we're going to add ribbon, but you can see that I did some inking. I pre-inked all the edges on all of my pieces to make it a little bit simpler, but the ribbon, you just add a little adhesive, and I like to use ATG tape, and I do it across the whole piece because I want the whole piece to stay down because it doesn't get anchored behind any paper. It's just the next layer of trim or I looked at this particular piece as another piece of paper. Again, the directions are super simple to follow, and if you just start at one corner and you work your way up or down, it makes it really simple. After you put the ribbon down, I always cut it a little bit longer because I like really clean edges at the end of my ribbon. So you just trim it up. So now we get to the nitty-gritty of the card making itself. Um, Here I've already attached the next 2 layers, and I've pre-stamped almost everything. You saw me stamp the sentiment here. Have a happy day. Love it. And the best part about the Close to My Heart stamps, they work so well the first time out, even before the seasoning. Here I'm going to add some brads, and you could use a piercing tool. I'm using the hook from Provocraft because my piercing tool hasn't come in yet from Close to My Heart. It's on my first order, so I should be getting that in just a few days. But makes it look like cherries in the bowl. And again, I pre-stamped the element so that I could quickly work through the production, kind of assembly line type of idea on the cards. And I'll show you on Friday what I did with these cards because I think they're going to make a super cute gift for someone because I probably won't ever use a cherry card. But you could put all 6 cards in a cello bag and make a little header and give them as a gift to a teacher or to a friend or in a gift basket. Here, just putting down the brads. Obviously, I was having some trouble there. So that's what the bowl looks like with the cherries. And you gotta love my ATG gun. It'll stick anything down, no matter how big or how small. But Close to My Heart does sell some great adhesive. I really like the ATG gun. I'm used to working with it on big or small projects. I do have some smaller adhesives that I use in here. You just layer it up to your green piece. And then I use my pick again because I want to punch a hole for the brad. I don't want this particular brad to go all the way through the card. I want the brad to be hidden. I like to hide as much of the internal trims as possible. Just makes the inside of the card look really clean. With some of the scraps from the paper, you can finish off the inside of the card. The directions don't show you how or give you recommendations on how to do it, but I always like to add just a little strip of one of the pattern papers or a journal bucket on the inside where you can write, like a lighter color paper or something like that, just so it's easy for them to read. I used pop dots that on each of the cards to give a little bit of dimension. On one of the cards I used the Cuttlebug. So just because the directions are pretty simple doesn't mean that you can't add your own embellishments, that you can't change it up. The directions don't say to ink the edges, but I do because I like it. You could do some sanding, you could do some tearing, but it's all about what you want. The Workshop on the Go kit is just a foundation to get your creative juices flowing. And so, and you know, everything is a little bit nicer with dimension. So I added a little dimension here, and there's, again, super simple. All of the cuts are pre-laid out, so it tells you exactly what size to cut, how many that you're gonna need. And it took me about an hour, not including the cutting, about an hour to make 6 cards. If I were to do that on a normal weekend, it would take me all day because I would not know where to go. Because I would get wrapped up in what paper I wanted, or is that cut the right size? But here it's a great foundation. And the best part about the Workshop on the Go's is that you get the workshop guide. And in the guide, it gives you all of those directions. So what I've done is I've taken all of my guides from my previous Workshop on the Go kits. As you see, I do make mistakes, so I needed to add another hole here. But I've kept all my workshop guides, and I put them in a 3-ring binder, and I'm able to go back and look at them for additional inspiration. And the best part is you'll see when you look at the pictures, they're all... they have workshops where you can take one card and do it 5 different ways by just rotating it and changing one element. So it makes it really versatile. Again, 6 cards in an hour.